Alright y'all, we started out from a blurry picture. I definitely had to use the Remini app to try to get a little bit clear, but I try to go off the original image as much as possible. And on the original image, I definitely had to change up because the hat, you couldn't really see it, so I had to go online, take a hat from off an actual soldier and put it onto his head to kind of get the likeness of the same picture. As you all see, and I just traced it just for that emblem in the middle of the head. Traced that separately as well, so I got the emblem kind of shaped out exactly how it's supposed to be, because as you see, it's blurred out in the original photo. Alright, now it's time to get started, and I always start out with that it's either 13 or 15 curve mag. Sometimes I even use 11 curve mag. We start blocking in some of the basics first, starting with a light tone. I always recommend start with the light tone, build up to your dark tones. Some people prefer the opposite, but light tones to darks is better because you get to map out your design. It's like sketching the design light and then building up to your actual final piece. And starting at the bottom of a tattoo, it definitely lets you know the skin that you're dealing with, what voltage is better to use, whether if it's a lower or higher voltage. So by the time you make it up to the chin or even the lips, anything like that, you already know for sure the voltage you're going to stick at throughout the whole tattoo. That's one thing I recommend, stick through that one voltage throughout the whole tattoo. That way everything is hit pretty much equally the same. You're not moving fast and chewing up one area more than another. Everything hit equally the same, so when it's healing up, everything should heal up pretty smooth. If you do overwork something, it won't be by much because you're using the same speed throughout the whole tattoo. And that's one thing I definitely recommend around the eyes. I used to use a 3-round liner, tighten it up. So if you're fresh and you're new to it, definitely use a 3-round and maybe even a 1-round, but don't create no lines. That's one thing you don't want. Don't create no lines. Now I use a mag, 7 curve mag, and kind of structure out them eyes, and if I need to, I'll go in with a 3-round liner if needed. So I no longer use a 1-round liner to structure out no eyes. The only time I will use a 1-round liner is if somebody have a lot of eyelashes, like on a woman's face, anything like that. I'll definitely build up them eyelashes with the 1-round liner, make sure they're dark enough to stand out and they're not going to just fade within the portrait. There's just a little cleaning in between. We was almost done with the portraits. I wanted to wash it down, clean it up to see if I was missing anything. And if I was missing anything, of course, we got to go back over, hit anything that we missing. But just looking out, clean it up, keep the skin combed down, make sure it ain't swelling, anything like that. Okay, now it's time for us to move on to them white highlights. Like I tell everybody, don't overdo your white highlights. I tend to do small dots when I want them brighter, and I just do a little pendulum motion when I'm trying to get softer shades. But don't overdo it. We don't depend on our highlights. We mainly depend on the structure of the black and gray shading for the tattoo. White highlights is just extra, like a cherry on top. Always make sure you clean up the tattoo very well at the end of the process. You don't want no extra ink nowhere on the skin, so keep on wiping down however many times you need to. Get that paper towel clean, make sure everything is off the skin. Even though you recommend the client to wash it when they get home anyway, but when they leave the shop, make sure all the ink is off the skin. So that's another thing I can't stress enough. Make sure you get all the pictures you need, because you may never see the client again. So I just try to get all the pictures I need. So it's a plus if I do see them again to see the picture healed up. If I don't, I try to get them to send a healed picture over the phone, but sometimes that don't always work out. So try to get all the pictures you can before your clients definitely leave the shop.